Hello, everyone. It's Michelle with Twin Flame Warriors. Welcome to the 6th installment again in our podcast series, Portrait of a Twin Flame. Today's portrait subject is Suzanne. Please note that this is part 3 of 4, a continuation of the last 2 weeks' episodes. We're trying something new by breaking our hour or more long interviews into bite-sized listening chunks. Please email us. Let us know what you think of the new format, or if you want to be a guest on our next portrait. Our email is podcast@twinflamewarriors.com. Before we begin, we want you to know that we offer coaching, mentoring, past life regression, card reading, and other services that could benefit you on your journey. Check out our menu today at twinflamewarriors.as.me. Now, without further ado, I give you Portrait of a Twin Flame, Suzanne, Part 3.
During this 4-month separation, I decided that I was going to ask the universe for a sign that we were meant to be together and that we were truly twin flames. So I asked to see tulips every day for a week because coffee was based around tulips and cotton candy. I asked for that sign. So the first day I was looking for tulips and I didn't see any. And I was like, oh, obviously we're not meant to be together. I haven't seen tulips all day. And I just happened to be scrolling on Facebook that night before bed, and this picture came up of a cotton candy flower that I had never seen before. And it's like, oh, this flower, it looks just like cotton candy. And I was like, oh, that's really strange. And then right after that, I saw the tulips, and it was some quote with the tulips about hang around me long enough and you will start to believe in yourself or something like that. It was a huge sign for me. Rest of the week, I saw tulips every day, whether outside or on TV. And sometimes I would see them with cotton candy. Like I went into the store one day and I happened to see like a tin of cotton candy. And then I looked over and there was a bouquet of tulips all together like that. Ever since, I always see tulips and cotton candy. And if I don't see tulips or cotton candy, a lot of times someone will mention tulips to me. Or one of my girls one time was talking about, oh, remember when we went to the fair and we had cotton candy, like it will always be brought up to me somehow. So I'll always think of him whenever I see tulips or cotton candy.
Of course, man, that's your calling card for each other. I wonder if it's the same for him.
I wonder too.
This cotton candy and tulip, all these synchronicities happened during that time?
Yes, during that time. And then I had a few more dreams as well during this time. I had a dream and I was still very much in D-knots during all of this, like when we were in full separation. But I had a dream one night where he told me I needed to work on my confidence. And I woke up to 555. And when I looked up what that means, because this is when I just started to see number syncs as well. So I looked up to see, what does 555 mean? And there happened to be about your confidence in there. And then I had another dream where he came to me and he asked me where the independent girl he fell in love with went. And then when I woke up to 1, 2, 3. I was seeing syncs constantly. Also like his initials. I would see his initials on license plates during our separation.
So what happened next? Like, did the separation end? If it was 4 months, and I'm assuming it ended.
After 4 months, our workplace opened back up in July 2021. I thought everything would be great. I thought I would just go back to work and everything would go back to normal, how it was before everything closed. But I was wrong. I went back to work and it was terrible. One girlfriend that I used to be friends with, she was being awful to me. One night she was yelling at me because I went behind the counter for just doing my normal job. And I knew my job, I was really good at it. So there's no reason for that. When I did finally see him, he had started to come in with his wife all the time. So I could never interact with him anymore because of the history with him and his wife and how she had found us on Messenger talking and stuff. So that felt really awkward to me when he would come in because he was with his wife all the time. So that wasn't normal because he used to come in by himself. During this time is when I ended up getting blocked from him on Facebook. I'm not sure if he blocked me or if his wife did, but regardless, I was blocked. So that also really hurt. And this happened right after I started back at work as well. I was a mess. It caused a lot more pain. I had one moment where I was at work and he was with his wife. I felt like I was going to cry. Like I didn't want to be there anymore. And I was so hurt. And I just looked at him when he was getting ready to leave. And I just looked him in the eyes and I felt hurt and I could see my hurt in him. And then he just left. We couldn't talk to each other because he was with his wife.
What did you see in him at that moment?
I saw just hurt. He looked as hurt as I felt. Well, I think that was the whole mirror thing again. I couldn't take it anymore, so I decided to quit working there. My girlfriend, who was working at a restaurant, told me that they were hiring. So I just went and applied, and the manager, I worked out with her like at our exercise class. So she's just like, I don't need to interview you. I know you. And so she just hired me on the spot. My last day at the fundraising job, he was there and he was by himself. I just went up to him and I told him, I said, I'm not working here anymore. I got a new job at this restaurant. And he said, I'm going to miss you. And I said, I'm going to miss you too. And that was the last time that we spoke for a while. During my DNOTs, I had also had a dream, even though I'd never thought that I would go back to working at restaurants again. But I had a dream that I was working at a restaurant. He was there by himself and I went to pour him a coffee, but it was in a Chinese takeout container. And when I poured his coffee, it spilt out all over the table. So I went to clean it up. He put his hand on the top of my hand and he said, stop, don't clean up my mess. And so that was pretty significant to me as well, because I think it was him telling me, I can't fix his problems. I can't clean up his mess for him. It was also significant because I did working at a restaurant, which I never thought I would go back to.
Another one that came true.
Another one.
And that's so true of the twin flame journey. What so many of us get stuck on is thinking, well, I can do this different or better, and they'll be convinced, or I can do this and it'll be fixed, when really there's equal portions of work to be done in this relationship. All these messes that we've built had to be deconstructed, the rubble cleaned up and cleared away. And I think it's beautiful that this true dream came to you and it was your spirit team speaking to you, your soul showing you exactly. I just love it.
It's just crazy to me because all these dreams that have come true, I've never had this happen to me before. Like I don't consider myself to be psychic or anything, but since this twin flame journey, I've just had so many dreams and they're all with him, but they've all come true in some way or have been messages to me for what I need to work on for myself.
Signposts. So you left that job, the fundraising job, and you went to the restaurant. And what's happened since?
So that was in 2021. I started working at the restaurant in August, and I didn't work at the fundraising job, but I did go back to my fundraising job. I have been working there once a week now, and it's been just about 4 weeks, and I've seen him every time I've worked. A couple times it was not so great, and a couple other times it was. So the couple times where he's with his wife, because I realize that in myself, his wife is a big trigger of mine, but I can't get past the hurt. Like every time I see them together, I just feel a little bit hurt. And I also just feel awkward, and because I know it wasn't right of me to be messaging him because he is married and his wife found out about it. I always feel a little bit awkward around her.
But one thing I would observe about your story is if you're still meeting with his wife and she's still a trigger, or you don't feel like you can connect with him or talk to him because of his wife's presence, there's a lesson for you to learn in there. And I only know that because I've been through the same thing with Justin's ex-wife. I saw it one day. I was like, wait a minute, Justin is me and I am Justin. His ex-wife is every bit as important to him as a soulmate and a life partner as my ex-husband was to me. If he loves her, I have to love her because I am him. And if he is me, he has to love my ex-husband too. I am every bit as responsible for the soul contract that he shares with her as he is. She is my soulmate too because she's his soulmate.
And I've never been bitter or jealous of her. It's just that hurt. Like I just feel hurt. And that's something that I know I need to work on. I know a lot of twins will sit there and say, oh, he's karmic. And like I've never been bitter or angry towards her. I accept that they're married and they're together. It's just like that hurt because I feel like we can't have that connection when they are together. You know what I mean, right?
I do. She's the one who stepped in and forced him to put up boundaries. I'm sure he doesn't like that feeling. And whatever he feels, you feel. There's hurt in there from the divisiveness that she's inserted in the relationship. But again, messes all around. We all get to clean up our own messes. All we can be responsible for is our own mess. I love it how it all comes together.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. But I did see him a couple times by himself. The first time I saw him by himself, the first night that I went back, he was really happy to see me, and I could tell. And I asked him how he was, said he was good. And at the end of the night, he made his way over to me and he went to talk to just another customer, but it was towards me. So I walked by him and he just said, "It's really nice to see you again." And I couldn't even say anything, but I just smiled at him. And he did come in one other time. And at the end of the night, I just said goodnight to him. It's been better. I still believe that we are not in union, we're in separation still, because we have very limited contact. It's only if I'm working and he happens to be there that I'll see him. We are in 4D union, which I believe we've been in since I started my spiritual awakening, since I could feel him from my Kundalini awakening. I still feel his energy in my chest or in my stomach.
You really are very connected to him on the spiritual plane. We refer to it as 5D. Some people say 5D plus. They label all these different levels. We just distinguish between 5D and 3D. And then 4D is the river of time that flows between our physical bodies and where our souls exist in the universe.
And I also started Reiki. So my first Reiki class that I took, the teacher is a medium and she's a Reiki master. So she did this meditation exercise with us. During the meditation, I could feel my twin standing on the right of me the whole time. And I could feel his energy and I could feel the pulling from the right side of my body out toward him. After the meditation, my teacher said that she could see a male presence beside me the whole time. I said, "That's my twin. I could tell. I know his energy. I could feel him."
Thanks for joining us for the third in our 4-part series, Portrait of a Twin Flame, Suzanne. Please share our podcast with your friends. Tell them about it on social. We love your support and good words. Word of mouth is how we grow and take our message to more people in the world who are looking for answers. If you'd like to learn more about Justin's and my twin flame journey, please consider picking up our novella series. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, Audible, and Apple audiobooks today. It's called Souls on Fire, Memoirs of a Twin Flame True Love Journey. Look for parts 1 and 2. If you'd like to share your story of twin flame connection, please reach out to us at podcast@twinflamewarriors.com. Maybe we'll share your story in an upcoming episode. Thanks, and we'll talk to you next time.